Yo, are you ready for an absolute fucking masterclass on advertising and info products? I'm about to freestyle this right now just off the top of the dome, but here we go. So there's a bunch of different ways to look at selling info products. I think what the main thing is that most people don't understand about selling info products is whatever the main thing that you're selling, let's say it's a $200 course, or let's say it's even like a $50 fucking guide. Whatever that main thing that you're selling is usually the thing that ends up just attracting customers and not making you a whole lot of profit. Okay, so if you're out here in the beginning of your digital marketing journey and you're trying to sell info products and you have a $50 guide, just know that that $50 guide is going to be something that doesn't make you a lot of profit if you want to scale. Now, I'm coming from the perspective of somebody who wants to scale info products to millions of dollars in sales and profits, because to me, I'm not just trying to make like $3,000 a month. Okay. If I can make $3,000 a month off of an info product, I want to know how to scale it so that I can make $300,000 a month. Right. So that's the way I approach everything. So the first thing is, if you think you're going to take your $300 course, $400 course, or $50 guide or whatever and make $300,000 a month with it and use ads to do it, you're fucking delusional. Because what happens is when you run ads, you basically, and you scale ads, like when you're spending thousands of dollars a day, you basically break even on whatever you're selling on that front end. It could be let's say it's a $250 product. Unless your shit's so fucking dialed in, you're probably, at scale, you're probably gonna spend around $250 or more to sell that initial course. So what happens to your initial product? Your initial product just becomes a lead generator for whatever you have next. Now let's take a step back. If you have an audience and you have multiple platforms that you're posting on and you have serious traffic flow, you can make sales of your $250 product and make a shit ton of those sales and sell a lot of those and potentially do $100,000 a month off of just a $250 product. But that's organic. I'm talking about when you put ads behind it. Now, if you have that organic shit going, and then you put ads behind it, you might be able to get sales at scale for your $250 product for like, let's say $200 or maybe $150, because you're already generating so much initial interest that your ads are essentially just retargeting a lot of people that were on the edge of buying. So you're increasing your conversion rate, or you're increasing the likelihood of somebody purchasing by throwing ads behind it. So you're just dropping your cost per acquisition. Okay. So that is a possibility too. But if you don't have the presence and you're running solely on ads, you should expect to pay near or above what you're selling your product for. And that's exactly why, when you really get into this and you learn about funnels and you learn about offers and all these different systems and processes, when you really get into this, you learn that you need a mechanism for acquiring customers, or to be profitable acquiring customers, or to break even acquiring customers, so that whatever you're selling on the back end, as we call it, is basically the most profitable thing that you can do. So as an example, let's take the $250 course. Let's say you're running ads, you're getting purchases on the $250 course for $250, so you're breaking even there. But everyone that comes into your course, you then upsell into potentially coaching, or you try to upsell them into coaching. Let's say 1 out of 20 people end up paying you 5, 10, 20 grand for coaching. Then you've liquidated your customer acquisition costs or your lead gen costs. You've built relationships with some people, and then you've made your profit, or the bulk of your money, on the coaching. You see how that works? Now, what a lot of people do is they go, well, it's hard to sell something for $250 with ads to cold traffic. What that means is when you run ads to an audience who's never heard of you before, and you're saying, buy my $250 course, people are like, hell no. I don't know who you are. Never heard of you before. I'm not going to buy your $250 course. So it's very hard. It's very hard for some people, for most people, to get conversions on a $250 course with ads, right? So what do? What they do is they end up creating something that's like $27, like a $27 guide. A lot of people do like $5, $10, $17, $27 guides, whatever, you know, like some super low price where they know they don't need to convince you too much to buy it, right? So like a $27 purchase is not that painful, right? So you can sell that with ads a lot easier to cold traffic than you could a $250 course. So they use that $27 offer, let's call it the $27 offer, to liquidate their ad spend. So instead of spending $250 to get a $250 purchase, they spend $27 to get a $27 purchase, and they scale that offer because you can get a whole lot more purchases for $27. So for example, for your budget, right? So for example, in a day, you could sell 10 $27 guides, which means 10 leads, and then you can create a funnel that upsells all of those people on various different products, including your coaching, your higher ticket stuff, so that you can actually make money off of those people. You see how that works? So by reducing down to $27, you are increasing your volume and your of customer, and you're spending less. Now this is a great system. This works very well, because what happens is someone who buys a $27 thing, they're likely to buy other stuff because they've already proven that they're a purchaser, and you can do volume. So that's like the evolution of the info product situation. And inevitably you will figure all of this stuff out as you go on your journey, no matter what point you enter into this journey. Now, I have done the $27, $37, $47 bundle sale with upsells and downsells and order bumps and all that stuff. And I've made a killing doing that. And I learned a lot through that process. But the main thing that I've learned is advertising costs go up. It gets harder and harder to make these conversions every single day because of the rising price of ad costs, right? So if you're paying $1.50 to $2.50 or maybe even $5 a click, it's kind of hard to sell a $27 product when you're paying $2 a click and convert appropriately. So what has been happening is the people who are selling the $27 product, they have an order bump. So that means when the person goes and buys the $27 product, as soon as they're checking out, they are offered like 2 or 3 or maybe even 4 other products that are $27 or $40 or $99 or maybe even $10, whatever it is, in order to increase the average order value so that they can be profitable on the sale of the $27 guide, right? Because if the average order value, let's say, is $30 and you're spending $27 per conversion, then you're making $3, right? At least you're in the positive. And so the goal for people is to build up the funnel with as many products as possible to increase the average order value as much as possible so that they can get an average order value of like $40 and they can get conversions for $27 on the initial product. And then they know the average order value is 40, so their profit is the difference. It's, $13 or something like that, okay? So now they're 13 bucks profitable, basically, on average. But here's the thing, because selling the $27 guide has become more expensive from an advertising standpoint. And there are so many tricks that you can do to lower costs and all that stuff within ads, but I'm just giving a general overview for the majority of people. So if you're selling that $27 guide, it's probably costing you more like $30, maybe even $35 to sell that $27 guide at scale. You know, I'm talking like 50 a day, 50, 100 a day. So if you're paying 35 bucks per sale and you're making 40 back, then you're profitable $5. And then at the very end of the funnel, you've got that call. You've got a call booking, offer, and then you can sell them on the coaching, and that's where you make the thousands and thousands of dollars. So this whole funnel is just designed to liquidate the ad spend. But most people can't liquidate the ad spend off of just one offer alone, one $27 guide. They have to build in a bunch of other shit, like upselling you into like 4 other courses at various different price points to increase the average order value so that they can inevitably push you to a call where they can make thousands of dollars off of you in the coaching program. Now, the problem with that is now you have to have like fucking 5 to 10 different products that are all specifically designed just to extract money before you actually sell them whatever the fuck you actually want to sell them, which is the high ticket coaching on the back end. And so you're basically breaking even on like 5 different products or making a little bit of profit. And in some cases, some people lose money still on that process just to get them to the high ticket, because that's where they still make the majority of their money. So you're doing the fucking most to get people to that high ticket thing, right? You're selling a shit ton of stuff and you're creating a whole bunch of commotion to get that ad spend back so that you can sell the high ticket. And that's really the info product game. That's like what has existed for a long time. That's what a lot of the old heads practice. And there's a lot of value in that system. And I've had a lot of success with that system, but there's also a shit ton of downsides to that system. And I've actually found a newer system that's better than that. Actually, a couple different systems that are better than that, but a little bit harder to pull off. But they are better for multiple different reasons. And I'll get into that in the next video. So if you want to learn more about this type of shit and you want to get access to me and my brain and how funnels and ads and all this shit works, I do have a group with a bunch of fucking courses in it to help you do all this stuff. And outside of this stuff and all the other stuff that I know from growing online, like growing my Instagram to 80,000 followers in 6 months, all sorts of shit. Anyways, that's linked down below. And I'm going to post part 2 soon. So if you want part 2, just click the link down below. Comment down below as well.